Good morning. It is April the 17th, 2024, Wednesday morning, and it is a nice morning out, although it's a little rainy, but it's hot. I'm laughing because by the time I clicked this on, a dog was, one of the dogs was just looking at me like I was lost my mind, and that might be the case, but that is still neither here nor there. And what we're looking at today is starry wisdom. And as you see right here, it's going to say the Chaosium Quarterly. Now, when I say Chaosium as a company, game company, a lot of people are going to have thoughts immediately, right? A lot of y'all are going to think about something. You're going to think about maybe Call of Cthulhu, maybe RuneQuest, but but a lot of y'all are going to go right to RPGs. Going to think of the RPGs that Chaosium has done and continues to do in some form or fashion. And you're going to think of it as an RPG company, and it is. And there's going to be another segment of people who are going to be over 50 years old or that know their games really well who are going to think of much older Chaosium. A Chaosium that was a war game company and produced war games before it ever really produced any of the RPGs that they became known for. Yeah, Greg Stafford started, as I understand it, I'm not exactly sure this is the history, this is what I remember. Greg Stafford's no longer with us. Rest in peace. He has moved on to the nether realms and or the unseen world, if you would like. And can't really ask him, but far as I know, he had a game. He designed a game called White Bear and Red Moon. And from the story I got, he was shopping it to Avalon Hill, trying to get, and it was decidedly a war game, a fantasy war game, but decidedly a war game. I guess a little bit like, remember, D&D started out as a war game. It was the white box or yellow box, whatever you want to call it, was very very heavy war game-ish, right? It was more war game-ish than not. Deadly game too. If you ever play, if you get a chance to play, please do. It's an experience like none other to play D&D in its original form. And I'm not talking about red box, right? White box, yellow box, whatever you want to call it, beige box, and but that's sort of like that, right? It was White Bear, Red Moon, and it wasn't published by Avalon Hill, so he started Chaosium and self-published it under, I think it was called the Chaosium back then, out in Oakland, California, and so started the entire story of Chaosium, and they had several war games. Troy, that's a big war game that pretty good little war game that I remember Chaosium doing. It was pure war game. You know, you had White Bear and Red Moon was more like was a fantasy war game, and then it does get picked up and re-implemented by. It is produced by Avalon Hill later. I forgot what name it went under. Getting old, folks. Getting old. I can't remember the exact what it was called in Avalon Hill. I have to look it up. Man, I hate that stuff. You thought you never would forget, you forget. Yeah, but this is their quarterly from the number 3. I think this is the last issue from September of 1997. So this is more like the Chaosium we think of today. It's when this newsletter came out. Mostly role playing games from 1981, from about the time that Call of Cthulhu came out, the original Call of Cthulhu, until was pretty much the time they really stopped dealing in war games. I think maybe the last war game was done in '81. Now they still do board games and stuff, Arkham and all that. They certainly do. But as far as pure war games, right? I think that's about 1981. One of the last ones, or the last one. But, and here we got this Starry Wisdom from 97, and obviously, if you see the tentacle on the cover, you're talking about Serpent People issue, Call of Cthulhu, Mythos, right? But you see something else here too. You see Stomp, free game inside. And that's really what I want to talk about here, Stomp. I've did videos on Stomp before. Such a good game. Really, in my opinion, the best of Chaosium's war games. And even though it's not a traditional war game, it is. The mechanics are very, very neat with it. But if you look at this, it's newsprint. Just reminds you, although it's done well and printed well, you got cards here. So yeah, Magic Revolution has happened, so we got cards. So it looks really well, but it does remind you sort of the those outlaw fanzines that we all had back in the day. As Chaosium started out as kind of an outlaw company, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. But so this kind of reminds you of some of that. And there's Stomp. Stomp is, got the bagged edition right here. It was a game done by Tadashi Ihara. And what a neat little game it is. It's just sometimes you'll hear it being called an elegant game. I don't really call it elegant. I guess they mean not a whole lot of rules, very quick playing, very engaging. I guess that's what they mean by elegant, instead of the opposite would be, I guess, slow or sluggish, or But no, it is that type of a game, right? And there's Chaosium. This is from 1978. This is the printing right here. And it's being redone almost 20 years later, 19 years later, in the book here. And here's the rules. And it's going to tell you a little bit about it here. We're going to look at that. Stomp was first released in 1978 for no reason other than doing something silly and fun. Lynn Willis and Tadashi Ihara, bored to tears with serious war games, decided to stir up trouble. Well, that's kind of cool, right? I just pause to think about that. It's kind of cool. You think about just to stir up trouble, Yeah, I can see that. Do something a little fun instead of talking about serious things, instead of worrying about historical events and whatnot, right? That's kind of cool. Thus was Thunder Rumper born. That's the John, I do believe. Stomp. Originally sold for $3. Yes, it did. Now you can play it for free. And that free, how much was it? Maybe it was free. Wow, how cool would that be? Now you can play it for free. Was this given away at the time? Don't know. You'll find the counters on the back cover. Paste them onto ultra rare CCG cards. Yeah, that's a joke. They know gamers. They're just screwing off with them. Of your choice. If you can't find a Darth Mox or Black Molder, hit us up for a Mythos Create Your Own Adventure card. Next, have an adult carry. Yeah. See, they're messing with CDG players. Cut out counters apart. Find a playmate and let the fun begin. Well, absolutely. Wow. I got some variants here. Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't know that as a variance there. Here's the map. I want to compare it with. Okay, the idea behind Stomp is you got two players. One of y'all are a big giant who's going to be stomping your way. Thunder Rumper, I think is what they call it. Thunder. That's not. I think I said Thunder Pumper earlier. Thunder Rumper, I do believe. Although, I might be wrong on that. big giant. It's going to be represented by a couple feet, right? And the rest of you are going to be mini elves. This is going to be the garden you're in. You're trying to keep. When I say elves, mini elves, it's like Keebler elves. It's not like elves in a real fantasy setting, in a Tolkien elves at all, right? It's like Keebler elves, right? Let's. Well, let me get it out of the bag here, and we might want to compare. I do want to compare the maps. See, you get a much bigger map here. Yeah, that's cool. You got a nice big map. Here's the map, the original map, the 78 edition. Obviously, like the bigger one better. Although they're pretty much the same, ain't they? Yeah, pretty cool. And let's see it's a bigger map. So there's the rules. Rules are short. We don't really have to go through them. You can look at my other video if you want to look at sequence of play or anything. And the counters are back here. Now, the counters, while the art is far superior on the 97 edition, at least these were cardboard. They were cut out, right? But they are the full counter set, right? So you got, that's a foot right there. They got a counter and some elves there. So yeah, you got a whole full counter set here. Very cool. Very, very cool. Call it Cthulhu. Any Call of Cthulhu players out there? That was my D&D. I think D&D was the first one I played. Redbox D&D was the first RPG I played, but no, I really cut my teeth on Call of Cthulhu. That was what turned me into an RPG. I just love the aesthetic. I love the time period. I love the great old ones, if you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, some cool counters. Of course, you could use these counters too. You can put the smaller counters will fit in the bigger hexes without a problem. As a matter of fact, I might prefer the smaller counters in the bigger hexes. I'm probably going to play with this map next time I play the game. And then we got Stomp Variants by Eric Rowe. So, Call of Cthulhu variant, very cool. That doesn't come with a 78 edition. Elf Quest variant. Elric, there you go. Elric variant, okay. Nephilim. Panzer Pranks. That's another game that they put out back in the 70s was Panzer Pranks. And I guess it's semi-playable. I haven't went over it here on my channel. Dave from Centurion's Review has. Maybe we'll go over that sometime soon, Panzer Pranks. Pendragon, Prince Valiant, Ringworld, Superworld, and Troy, the Troy variant. Very, very cool. Diceless Revolution system, that's a cool thing. Opponents face each other. It's a rock, paper, scissors mechanic you got going on there to come out there, which I thought was just a cool game. Just a cool game. So you got variants. The following collection of rules changing the background of Stomp to various other Chaosium games. That's neat. That's neat. I didn't even know that was in here, but we know now. But yeah, that's it, man. That's why some of these old. This ain't that old, but some of these old fanzines and old books are neat to find because you can find things in there that may be lost. I wonder if anybody's put those variants on BGG. Let me know. If somebody has. If not, maybe I can upload them. I don't know. I'll have to scan them in and upload them. Maybe I can do something like that. Maybe I'll just type them out because I'm bored one day. Who knows? Cult of Chaos. Cult of Chaos wants you. Gosh. Is it dark in here? Looking where? Oh, yeah. This is a cool book. And Call of Cthulhu, which, yeah, just my favorite RPG of all time. I guess someone told me that was the weeb in me, but I don't know if that's really true or not. But there it is. Story Wisdom number 3 with Stomp, the reprint of Stomp, and this was the original 1978 Stomp. Yeah, if you can find it you could probably pay up to $25 for that and be worth your time, just for the variants in the game itself. But there it is. Don't know if you'll like it or not, but if you do, well, then good. But yeah, Chaosium, as most from 75 to 80 there, was they put out a lot of war games because, that's where RPGs came from, right? So there it is. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Talk to you soon. I got something special for you next week. I got something real special for you next week that I haven't done, and we're gonna take our time with it. So look out for that, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye, y'all. Be careful.